Hey everyone, my name is Teng, and I am from the University of Southampton, and I'm currently studying electrical and electronical engineering. Today, I would like to share an idea with you guys. Okay, maybe not so much of an idea, but more of a thought process. Because as we all know, 2 years ago, the COVID-19 pandemic started, and we were all a bit confused with our lives, right? We were all pushed back to our homes, and we did not know how we wanted to continue with our lives because we were just like stuck at home and we didn't have anything else to do. And it was with this thought process that helped me focus on one thing that ensured that I am able to fulfill my fullest potential, even though I have to stay at home all the time. Because as human beings, we are all destined for greatness. And I believe as human beings, we're all working on different paths, which eventually lead to different destinations at different points of time. Right? Unlike controlled experiments, engineers, such as myself, perform in labs. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world, and we cannot know for sure what will happen next. I mean, for me, there's still a lot of uncertainty when I do my labs. But that's not the point. The point is, even with all the winning cards in our hands, you'll never know for sure if you'll come out the other end smiling or frowning. See, between you and I, and between you and the person next to you, and between the person next to you and me, we're all different people with different circumstances. From the very beginning, since we were born, we have different sets of personalities, different sets of traits, and different sets of behaviors, which eventually lead to how we react to different situations. But sometimes we're just walking on our paths, the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and we're all just happy. And all of a sudden, just a storm hits, and you're down on your ground, you bruised your knee, and you look up, and rain is just pouring down your face, and you just feel so sad, you feel so down. And there's nothing you can do about it. See, the COVID-19 pandemic is this storm when unexpectedly will hit, and we just didn't know what to do. You could have planned could have many plans over the years where you want to go for university, where you want to travel with your friends. But at the end of the day, when this COVID-19 hit, no one knew and what was happening. See, back in March 2020, when the government announced the full lockdown, right, everyone was pushed to their homes. From businesses to the economy to us, the university students, everyone was badly affected, right? And for all these businesses, many people, all right, they were eventually retrenched, unemployed, right? And there's nothing they can do about it. High-flying jobs such as pilots, right? They had to resort to selling burgers by the side of the streets. But today, I'm not here to talk about them. Today, I'm here to talk about us, the university students. Because as students, what is our main job? Our main job, priorities, is that we think up with all these impossible dreams that we want to achieve. Because at the end of the day, as students, we have all this energy, all this youth in us that we can take in control in our hands and just do all these impossible tasks that we set ourselves to. However, when this COVID hit, when COVID came knocking, all our hopes and dreams left also because there's nothing we could do, right? See, every time the COVID-19 seemed to have mellowed, a new variant pops up. And at this point, we're just holding on to false hope. Hope is waiting for the situation to fix itself so that we can go back to our usual ways. I'm here today to tell you that there is no more usual ways. There's only now and how we can take control of our situation such that we can move on and just do what we have to do. See, first things first is that you must remember that your mind is the greatest weapon that you have. Your mind is technically a double-edged sword, right? You never know how you use it. But at the end of the day, it depends on how you use it that determines the outlook of your future. See, it's funny because it can be your greatest advantage, but at the same time, it could also be your greatest disadvantage. As you can see on the screen, decisions made in haste will often go to waste. Why is it like that? Because if you're unable to make rational decisions when we're under all this pressure, right? If let's say because of this coronavirus, right, we're unable to make the rational decisions, make hasty decisions, right? You think that all these things, all these dreams that you have, you need to let them go immediately because of your circumstances. Then it could eventually lead to consequences which you could never imagine in the first place. If let's say you think that it is the best choice for you, then go ahead with it. However, you need to make sure that when you make a decision, it is a decision that you will be proud of 10 years from now, 20 years from now. When you look back, you think, okay, when I made this decision, I'm happy that I did. But is it because you made this decision out of rash, because you were rash? Or is it because you actually weighed out all your options, you were being rational with it? See, here's a short analogy for this. See, imagine a basketball player, right? He can score as many points as he wants, right? During training, during scrimmages, all right? All the practices he does. But at the end of the day, if let's say he goes for a competition and he's unable to deliver, what use is he to the team? What use is he when he is unable to deliver when it matters most? See, the thing about this is that we, right, when we're under all this pressure, especially peer pressure, right, we tend to make all these bad decisions. And in the basketball analogy, you make all the bad passes, you take the wrong shots, you make the wrong decisions, and eventually it will be your downfall. And if you're unable to keep calm, you will fall at the same time. See, the first step is always to take the step back and you let all your feelings sink in. Because as human beings, we are all allowed to feel all these things, the sadness, the frustration, the anger. All right, we're not wrong for wanting to stop for a moment and take a deep breath. So we always have to take our time and close our eyes, all right, and take a deep breath. Right. So now we have our mental game in check. We're calm and we're ready to make rational decisions. So what is next though? See, when you think about what you want, all right, what are you looking at? See, here's a personal analogy from myself. I'm a water polo player and I've been playing this sport since I was 13 years old, right? And I really like to play the sport. I'm not gonna lie, it has been a rough few years, but I still really like to play the sport, right? But you see, for the longest time, I've always wanted to play this sport at a higher level. And each time I want to go higher, from club to my school, to my state, to the national team. All right. And for the longest time, SEA Games was my goal. Right. And I was aiming for the 2021 SEA Games. However, as history shows itself, 2020, COVID-19 hit and Malaysia went into lockdown. Right. And at that point of time, I was at the position of who am I if I'm not this or I'm not that? Who am I if I don't play SEA Games? All right. See, I worked so hard. I woke up at 5 a.m. every day. All right. I trained hard. All right. I felt quite lonely most of the time. All right. And I made all these sacrifices just to do all this training. So did I waste all my time? If I'm unable to achieve this, if I am unable to even try to get into SEA Games, right? There was no selection for me to go to at all. So does that mean it's done for? Is that what I am at the end of the day? No, because this is the point I realized that all these tangible goals that we can hold in our hands. You want to get first-class honors. You want to play in water polo SEA Games. You want to become a good YouTube content creator. You want to become a better singer. You want to draw better. All these goals, all these are tangible goals. Goals that you eventually hold in your hand and say, yes, I played SEA Games, or no, I did not play SEA Games. But all these goals, eventually, they don't matter because at the end of the day, these are stepping stones towards what you will eventually become. Because it doesn't matter what happens 5 hours from now, a day from now, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. No, none of that matters. What matters most is what happens 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now. What happens when people think about you? When people think of your name, what would they be thinking about? What legacy are you going to leave behind? See, I know for a fact that me, all right, I will become someone confident, outgoing, and ready for anything. Anything that you throw in my way, I will be ready for it. And yeah, I will fail. Because at the end of the day, all these things that we aspire, that we want to achieve, all right, there is a certain group of people going for the same thing. And we'll never know for sure if we'll actually get it, even if we put in all our blood, sweat, and tears. But it's important to remember that sometimes, maybe it's not meant for you. Maybe at the end of the day, the thing that you want most is not meant for you. But there are other things that we can look out for. And this is why it's so important that it is important that we know what we want 10 years from now, what we want to do, right? So now we know what we want, all right? We move, we absorb. The thing that you're thinking about now, to be honest, all right, if let's say you're actually thinking about what you want 10 years from now, it's something in your subconscious, something that's always been there, that it's already been there at the back of your mind. See, you never, all these things, because it never just comes out of nowhere. Because if you tell me that I just told you this, and then you're like, oh, yeah, I want to do this because I just thought about it. It's not true. It's something that is been at the back of your head, something that you idolize. Because from young, we watch people, or we talk to our friends, we watch YouTube videos, all right? We meet new people. Eventually, we have something that we want to become. And it's not something new, which is why the thing that we want to do, how we want to achieve it, is something that is already there. And we already know how to achieve it. We just have to look a little closer. See, at home is where it all started, where we made our first walk, where we picked up our first pen, where we wrote our first letter. It all started from home. And the fact that we are pushed back into our homes because of this pandemic means that we're just basically starting back from basics. We're starting from scratch. All right. We just have to look a little closer, look around and see what your resources are, because it's already there. See, for example, for a water polo game, all right, I need to have a lot of stamina because it's a high intensity sport. All right. So I need to have a lot of stamina, right? So we go. If let's say I can't go to the swimming pool, I'll do runs then, 5 km runs. And if let's say I cannot go to the playground area, let's say, all right, then I'll just have to go back home and use the treadmill. And if let's say you tell me you don't have a treadmill, fair enough. Maybe you'll do jumping rope instead. All right. And you see, as a water polo player, maybe I don't have to use strong shots all the time. Maybe I can watch games and see how other people play, how they place the ball slightly so that goalkeepers cannot reach for the ball, cannot even think about reaching for the ball. Right? I can watch all these YouTube videos all over the internet. Right? There are different players with different playing styles. Right? So at the end of the day, whatever you need to do is already there. All you have to do, if you tell me that you do not know what to do, or you just don't have the resources to, truth is there's only two things. One is you're lazy. You just think that, oh, I need to go to the best gym. I need to go to the best swimming pool. All right. I need to have the best tutor. Or you're just making excuses for yourself and you just don't want to do it because you're just using the pandemic as an excuse to just laze around. See, now we have a plan, a full-blown plan maybe, right? Because the person you're about to become isn't just based on one thing. See, for me, yes, I have my water polo, but at the same time, I have a YouTube channel also, right? And at the same time, I need to make good on my studies. I need to study hard, all right? At the same time, I need to keep my social life up, all right? I need to go out, have some fun with my friends, all right? I need to spend time with my family, all right? All these things take time. And it's not just free time that we have. See, all these things that we have to do should be integrated into our schedule, right? But we must remember that in a day, we only have 24 hours. So let's say 8 hours you take to sleep, right? Another 8 hours you take to go to classes, right? Talk to your friends, socialize a bit, eat your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then so you have the last 8 hours for yourself to do whatever that you aspire to do. See, it's important that in that 8 hours, you also need to take into account your transportation time. All right. You need to get yourself ready. You need to maybe do some warm-ups. All right. Warm downs. All right. All these things. At the end of the day, maybe you need to get like max 4 to 6 hours of work. And in this 4 to 6 hours work is that your most passionate work takes place. So it either goes two ways. One way, at one end of the spectrum, you're saying, oh, I don't have enough time to do this or do that. I need to study. I need to train hard, all these things. No. Because We have enough time. It's just how we use it. Or at the other end of the spectrum, sometimes people like to overwork themselves because they get overly excited from the beginning. They just go like, okay, I'm ready. All right, I'm going to do this immediately. All right. And then just like, because I'm so motivated, I can do this all day. I can go all day. But you see, first day, it'll be easy. Second day, easy. The fourth, fifth day, easy. But then you realize 6, 7, 8, 9, you start to get tired, start to get lazy. Why? Because it's just too tiring to just get out of bed every day and then go for a 3-hour run. And then followed by 4 hours of YouTube editing, followed by 5 hours of going partying with my friends. See, it's all a matter of perspective and how you use your time. Right? Now, we have the time check. All right? We check properly. All right? We see what we have to do and we've allocated time for it. But eventually, we get tired. And it's not your fault because as humans, we're just like that. Sometimes being consistent is harder than going all out on the first day. But it's important that we never forget why we started in the first place. Because at the end of the day, the person who's going to get the achievement is you. No one cares whether you get it or not except for you. Everyone can cheer you on, right? At the end of the day, the person to pick up the pen is you. The person who go out to run is you, right? Doesn't matter what your friends say. Doesn't matter what your family says. Doesn't matter what your teacher says. No, none of that matters. Because you will be the one doing all the work, right? So, in conclusion, the speed at which we are able to adapt to our situation will determine how long we can work at optimal performance. But the truth is, we've already adapted to it and we know exactly what we need to do. All we have to do right now is just look a little closer, because then is where we find what is it that we really have to do. So yes, I hope that today I have spread some ideas to you guys. Hopefully that I've helped you guys in your ventures. So yeah, my name is Teng and thank you for listening to my TED Talk.